Hey, we're live. Thank you for clicking on me. My name is Vorlex. Some people call me Lex, which I welcome. Today is Thursday, July 2nd. It is 3 p.m. Eastern Time, which means it is time for my scheduled stream. I want to first thank you for joining me today. I am trying something new today. You may... well, probably not. If you are watching this as a VOD, it may not be clear yet. It might not become clear at all. But in the process of watching my old VODs and preparing them to go public on YouTube, it has come to my attention that... Okay, frankly, the resolution on my VODs kinda sucks. On Twitch, the live stream, it seems to look fine, as far as I can tell. But when I have been downloading the VOD from Twitch and uploading it to YouTube. Somewhere in that process, the resolution gets compressed to the point that on YouTube, there is little to nothing I can do once it's already on there. Today, I've tried taking the VODs that I've already downloaded from Twitch, because they don't exist on Twitch anymore. Twitch doesn't hold them long enough. And exporting or upscaling them as much as I can with the software that I already have. This has a minimal effect on the VOD's quality on YouTube, but I'm just going to have to come to terms with the fact that my VODs of Soulframe and Warframe up to this point are going to be pretty low quality. Now, as of right now, none of them are public yet, but I know they're going to become public. I'm still glad they exist, though, because this journey, seeing what I learn in this hobby and all of the things that have to come together and all of the little tidbits of knowledge that I have to pick up along the way is the biggest reason that I keep VODs. That I want to maintain that YouTube channel so that I can see everything that I've learned and the time that it's taken me to learn it. So today, I am not going to be downloading this VOD from Twitch. I'm actually recording right now. I am recording this VOD myself while streaming it. OBS fortunately lets me do both. OBS tends to be frustrating in some ways, but I want to see what recording the VOD myself does. See what that does for the quality. Let's turn these off and go here. Today I will be streaming Warframe, doing something similar to what I did yesterday, but only in the course of 1 hour. And I want to remind all my viewers, this only applies to people who are live right now, if indeed anyone is 4.5 minutes into stream, that currently, and ending today, in roughly 2 hours and 55 minutes from now, is this directory-wide Twitch drop campaign. I described this yesterday as well. I will not be streaming for the full 3 hours for this. I will only be streaming for an hour today in the Warframe category. This campaign ends at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Again, that is 2 hours and 55 minutes from right now live. If you're watching this as a VOD, I apologize, this does not apply to you. However, 2 hours after this ends, another Twitch directory-wide Twitch drop campaign begins at 8 p.m. Eastern Time today. I won't be able to do anything for this over the weekend. My weekend is pretty jam-packed. But next week I will be sure to stream enough that my viewers can get these glyphs if they are interested. If y'all are interested. Today in Warframe, I've identified, very fortunately, there is an Omnia fissure in exactly the Steel Path Murmur survival mission that I was running yesterday to get an Eidolon lens blueprint. Or an Eidolon lens exactly. Pre-built. I'm not sure. Do I still have that tab open? No, I don't. It's fine. To get an Eidolon lens. Now, getting one from this would be really nice, but I think I'm just going to go in here and crack as many relics as I can. Get a bunch of void traces, probably. Not anything terribly important on stream today. I'm just here, big chillin', in a long survival mission, and I thank you for joining me. Let's get in here. I've, along with video resolution,
each enemy is more powerful.
The more VODs of mine that I watch, the more I understand. The more I understand how audio is an entire profession in and of itself. You might already be able to tell, I am not playing the same Styanax build as I've played on stream before. This is not the usual final stand nourish combo. As you can see, if I hit my 4, I don't get any overguard from this. That's because I'm not using the augment for Styanax's 4. I am, however, using the augment for his 1, where I throw more than one spear. I'm also not using a Helminth right now. And, unlike previous melee weapons that you may have seen me use on stream or in VODs, I do not have influence on this one. This is the Thibodeau Prime with melee afflictions. And my idea with this build is to press 1 to group up a bunch of enemies and then slap them with the Thibodeau. Ooh, range and strength, we love it.
Finish your mission to find out what's inside.
Capsule incoming! Use it well. They're expensive.
You know, Fibonacci, I understand that life support capsules might be expensive, but Chaboy could really use some Eidolon lenses. I might be more inclined to respect your life support capsules if you got me some Eidolon lenses. That would be really nice. Of course, as I stated, my goal today is not necessarily to get an Eidolon lens, although that would be really nice. My goal today is to be in this mission for a long time and open up a lot of relics. Although enemy density seems to be suffering right now, or at least seems to have decreased. I wonder why. Or if that's just a perceived thing, and it hasn't actually changed at all. Might be hard to... Oh. No thank you. Might be hard to maintain life support myself on this build. I don't know, I haven't played this Styanax in this mission before. Dear viewer, sometimes I feel like I don't say this enough, and sometimes, oddly enough, I feel like I say it too much. But I really do appreciate your viewership. There are so many streamers, more streamers than I can count, on Twitch, and yet you decided to click on me. That means a lot. It means more to me than it probably seems, and maybe even more to me than it probably should. I'm just honored and flattered. Even if you're watching this as a VOD, you're still giving me your attention and your time. And that means a lot. Your attention is valuable. Some companies even think your attention is worth literal money. So where you decide to give your attention is important. You see me here augmenting the intended Styanax Thibodeau gameplay with some of the new Ballistica Prime Incarnon, which, of course, is amazing no matter what build it's on. No matter what frame it's on or what mission you're in, this thing is absolutely slamming. Booloo-loo-loo-loo-loo. I do wish, though, I'm not sure what can be done about this, and I'm not even sure that it's important enough for Digital Extremes to address. But I do wish that the ghosts that the Ballistica Prime conjures didn't have collision. See, I'm bumping into this one right now, purposely, of course, but I would really like to be able to just pass through those. Especially when I fire into a hallway full of enemies, and then there's no way through the hallway because the ghosts are blocking you. Or me, in that context. Melee weapon has increased damage. Convenient corruption for this build. It's not... You probably notice me jumping before pressing Styanax's 1. Like so. That's just a to-taste thing. I think it's cool. It doesn't change anything about his 1. It doesn't increase my damage at all. I just think it's cool to do. When I jump before pressing Styanax's 1, recognize that I feel decidedly more badass. So I do it. This might double as triple? Question mark? As a neat Stella farm. This mission is serving multiple purposes for me today. Random prime parts, void traces, maybe an Eidolon lens. A bone widow. Get out of here, please. Thank you. And Stella. Nifty. Violence. You're gonna turn off my abilities. And melee afflictions isn't gonna help me against you. Because I can't crowd control ya. Yeah, I'm going to have to actually use life support capsules in this mission. That's fine. Although, in the short term, it looks like I'm doing alright. I spoke too soon, evidently. Keeping my life support just above the red. Nah, I spoke too soon. Let's use one. I have 7 banked up, might as well. As cool as this build feels, it doesn't seem to have the KPM, the kills per minute, to sustain life support all on its own, without using any capsules. And that's fine, it's not like it has to. It's just convenient when you can. Let's go get that focus orb, because I like using the Tauron strikes.
I do not think the murmur will wish this to you.
Just a split second later, and I could have gotten the freeze frame here on a really badass pose. All those kills with the Nerimon Tauron strike, and none of them dropped life support. At least at this point, I've regenerated a life support capsule. No, Fibonacci, how about... no. No thank you, in fact. Secondary weapon has increased damage.
Finish your mission and we'll take
Ballistica Prime does not need it. In fact, I can't even tell. Fibonacci, you keep saying that. I'm going to...
Has been permanently compromised. Extract.
Fibonacci, come on, dude. I'm going to muse a little more about the experience of watching my own VODs in the process of preparing them for re-uploading to YouTube. I understand... well, no. I predict that I probably could have saved myself some of this headache by learning about the process beforehand. And maybe that would have been better. But, and this might sound strange, I'm not necessarily here to do what would have been better. That might have been better. But better... Let me put it this way. Even if I had done that from the start, even if I had learned about the whole process of how to migrate, how to keep Twitch VODs on YouTube with the highest quality possible, and was recording my VODs myself instead of downloading them from Twitch and re-uploading them to YouTube. If I had been doing that from the start, I would have no frame of reference right now for how to increase the quality of my videos. Of my VODs, to be precise. Does that make sense? Like, if I already knew that, then I would have less to learn right now. And right now, yes, it's frustrating to look at the VODs that I'm ready to upload to YouTube and see the quality being like 720p maximum or 1080p maximum. And honestly, for some of them, I compare them. I compare the 720p to the 1080p, and I don't see much of a difference. And while, yes, that's frustrating, my prevailing emotion, the emotion that I feel when I look at that very much outweighs that frustration, is hopefulness. It is excitement that I get to learn how to be a better content creator. And I wouldn't have this excitement if I was already doing that from the start.
Your hard work is really paying off.
Maybe I'm coping. Maybe that doesn't make a lick of sense, and I'm hard coping. And any other content creator who might be watching this can hear me say that and go, yeah, Lex, you're just behind, or whatever. And to be clear, I don't think I am. I am making my own timeline here. I'm on my own journey. I can't be behind in my own journey. Hi, Coco. Good to see you. Welcome back. How have you been? I am currently faffing about in Warframe, barely keeping life support going in this mission, and musing about my experience as a content creator so far.
Options. Retreat to the sanctum.
How have you been? Where was I? Oh, I was in this room a lot yesterday. Ah, yes. Maybe that would have been better content creation for me. And while, yes, I would like to get better as a content creator, in order to get better, I need to have things to improve on. I need to have things to learn. And part of the experience that I'm after in live streaming on Twitch and then keeping my VODs on YouTube is the experience of doing something wrong for a while, doing something suboptimally for a while, and discovering for myself why it was suboptimal and how to do it better. I am willing to have subpar content if that's the experience that I get to have. And if I'm being practical, maybe this is realistic, maybe it isn't, but it feels practical to me because I have no data to back this up. It is highly unlikely that anyone watches my content as a dedicated viewer. It is highly unlikely that anyone puts me on their main monitor and just watches. If I had to guess, I might be on a second monitor, and you're probably listening to me right now, and only sometimes glancing over at the gameplay. Or I might be on a phone while you're doing something else, and I'm just background noise. That is completely fine. Viewership is viewership. You're still here. You still clicked on me, and that means a lot. But if indeed that it's true, and I'm predicting that it is, although, as I said, I have no actual data to back that up, then what does it matter if my VODs, if the visual quality of my VODs is stuck at 720 or 1080 for a while? I do predict that that the quality will increase with this VOD in particular because I'm recording it myself, and I won't be downloading it from Twitch. But if the point of clicking on me was to have some chill background narration or whatever, then the visual quality doesn't need to be supremely good. Again, though, as I described before, that might just be cope. I don't know. It feels good to have rambled about that. That did let me collect some of my thoughts. Speaking things like that aloud does tend to help me, so I appreciate you being here for my ramble. You, dear viewer, whoever you are, live or VOD. Excuse me, dog. Let's go grab this life support way over here, and then return to the room I've been in. Ooh, Forma blueprint. Cool. How have you been, Coco? What have you been up to since yesterday? And, or what are you up to now? Quick water. Well, that was rude, little dog. Little robo dog.
Tick-tock. Time and oxygen are running out.
Yeah, I know. Back to this room, because I would rather be in this room than the previous one. Very unfortunate spot for this Iatan star. I don't know how I managed to pick that up. Melee afflictions builds, like the Thibodeau that I'm using right now, tend to suffer understandably against enemies that you can't crowd control with your melee weapon. Such as all of the overguarded units that I'm fighting here. But it does feel cool, I must admit. And I have a soft spot for the Thibodeau and the Thibodeau Prime. I have fond memories using the Thibodeau a lot in my early Warframe days.
Sending another capsule. Is don't grow on trees, you know. You have but 60 seconds of life support remaining.
Oh, I need to charge the Ballistica back up. A Void Rig. Can I shoot you in the back, please? No, you're looking at me. Wow. That was a cluster. Cool. There's the the body blocking ghosts. Again. Oh, that looks so cool. Having a hollow vein ghost. Not that it does anything. I've never seen the ghosts get kills of their own. But it's cool that they exist. My dog is not having a good time. Maybe I should revisit this pupper's build. Maybe put Pack Leader on it? The Pack Leader mod for a bit more survivability, especially because I'm so melee focused in this build. I'm sure that would help a lot.
You are out of options. Retreat to the sanctum.
You keep saying that, Fibonacci. And I have been doing A-okay. Heck, I have more available life support capsules now than the first time you said that.
This area has been permanently compromised.
Speaking back to my experience as a content creator and how excited I am to improve. The next... Oh, Oh no! I am gonna have to leave. Rip. I could have played this better. It's fine though. I'm just gonna load back in.
Valuable lesson.
Anyway, the next logical step, right, is prime time. Are they streaming right now? Did they just start? No. No, it's just scheduled. For 6 to 8 today. Okay. So, oh, I see. So, from 6 to 8 today, there's going to be a primetime stream. Neat. Conveniently, that's going to be right in between the first Twitch drop campaign that's active right now, and the next one that I described at the start of this stream. Let's adjust this dog a bit. See what we can do for Scruffican. I probably don't... I like the sound of Seismic Bond, but it's probably the most... Not even probably, it is the most replaceable mod here. And I don't even have a channeled ability in this build. Let's put Pack Leader in here. This is going to help a lot. This is basically going to solve this dog's survivability for this build. I'm going to take this time to show the build that I'm using. The one that I was using on stream in Railjack missions was this one. Intrepid Stand, the augment for the the augment for the 4, Nourish over the 1, Classic, and then the one that I was playing with just now. Augment for the 1, it doesn't make a big difference for how the build plays, but I like having it because it feels cool. And then the Thibodeau that I'm using right now has afflictions on it, melee afflictions. I could probably... hold. Yeah, no. I can probably forma this one more time. Probably put a V polarity here in order to use a better Tenekai mod, but it doesn't feel necessary right now, so I haven't. Let's go back into that mission. Persto. Whoop. Bumped my mic pretty bad there.
Accept your death, and you may yet avoid it. Trust in your training.
There are void fissures in the area. Use these to crack open a relic.
I love that sound at the start of these murmur missions.
Not today. Preparing.
Not today, indeed.
Capsule.
Fissure. Defend yourself and use reactant to open relics.
Let's get this focus orb, charge up our Taron strike a bit faster. And I like to generally fight in the vicinity of life support. So I'm going to stay in this room for a bit.
Foes are dropping reactant. Use it to crack open a relic. Don't forget the reactant. You need more to open that relic.
Yeah, I got you, Lotus. I understand. Actually, thinking further about audio, specifically my microphone audio and my balancing, I don't know why I haven't thought of this before. This feels so obvious. And other content creators I mean, if you, dear viewer, happen to make content of any kind, you probably have thought of this already. It just feels that obvious.
Life support approaching.
Recording with OBS instead of streaming.
Collected enough
Like,
reactant to open the relic.
I don't have to be live in order to make a stream-like recording. And I can just mess with my audio balancing offline, on my own time. That sounds so obvious. I can't imagine a single person hearing that. Whoever you are, dear viewer, I can't imagine a single person hearing that and not going, well, duh. But that feeling is worth unpacking on its own. What you saw me do there is a neat little jutsu where you roll, you dodge roll, and right over something that you can pick up,
60 seconds.
and it skips the animation of you actually picking up the thing. It's just a little faster, and it takes some timing, that's all.
Looks like you could use a bit of life support.
Obviously, what we see happening here, when the grouping happens to not be in melee range, or even when it is, the Ballistica Prime Incarnon goes absolutely freaking crazy. Like, if I group enemies up there, I can't melee those
60 seconds
dudes,
of life support remaining.
but I can make a ton of ghosts. I don't have a Helminth ability on this build, but I wonder what Helminth I would use if I were to. Warcry? Because I'm melee focused anyway. The point is to get melee kills, so having some more attack speed would be cool. And this is probably going to upset any Styanax main out there. And if you main Styanax, I am sorry for how this is likely going to make you feel. But if I were to put a Helminth on this build, if I were to subsume something onto this build, it would probably go over the 4. Because, I mean, what you just saw me do was 1 and then 4. And yeah, fine, whatever, but... Oh, come on, let me up there. Even if I do the whole
What this fish just caught.
lifted status, what is it called? Lethal levitation? Lethal levitation to get more weapon damage.
To return. The sanctum is waiting for you.
It still doesn't feel like the point of the build. The point of the build is group and then hit with melee. The Tipido. This is my reason to use the Tipido, in fact. I'm not using the augment for the 4. The damage is fine, but all it is damage to... Oh? Maybe I shouldn't have ignored that Acolyte. So yeah, the 4 is great. And you could certainly kill with it. But I don't find myself wanting to use it in this build. Heck, I'm hardly even using my 2. Because my power strength is fairly low on this build. And it just doesn't feel terribly impactful. But choosing between an ability that can armor strip, like the 2, and an ability that's just damage when my goal is to deal damage with another source, I see myself subsuming off the 4. So with that in mind, what helmets would be useful? Warcry, certainly, for the attack speed. I mean, obviously Nourish or Roar, because they're always good. Those are the low-hanging fruit for me. Of course, unless this is the first time you have clicked on me, you've seen me use Nourish and Roar in basically every Warframe stream, I think. I don't actually know that, if that's true off the top of my head, but it feels like it's true. Certainly yesterday. Certainly in yesterday's VOD, you saw me use Nourish and Roar a whole bunch. I feel like being just a tad more creative with this build, though.
You have but 60 seconds of life support remaining.
Whether you're using the 4 to get kills or not, lethal levitation is still damage. It's still good to keep it going. Enemy density feels a bit higher in this run. Maybe it's the room. Let's show off this Taron strike one more time. At least one more time. I'm very happy that those go through walls. They darn well should. You farm enough. It's enough of a grind to get the Taron weapons. And they're usable so seldom. They darn well should go through walls. I want to go back to this other room. Get me back in here. Torment, how you doing? Let's try a thing, shall we? Do you mind getting locked down for me, please? Cool. Thank you. Yeah, the 4 is cool, and the damage is good. But without the augment for it, I don't feel myself being compelled to use it.
60 seconds? I shall put this one on the pile. We're going to need a bigger sector.
Another Tatsu Prime blueprint. Wild that with me selecting a relic willy-nilly, I wound up getting 2 of the same blueprint. Maybe my relic selection is less willy-nilly than I thought it would be. Hi, Coco. Hello again, indeed. I remember talking about mugenics with you yesterday. Are you still... Is that still occupying your time today? How's that going?
Time and oxygen are running out.
You proposed another Pokemon for Elite Redux. Very cool. I love that that's a thing that's available to you, and I love that you do it. A Redux Cherim. Fascinating. Do tell. I would love to hear whatever you're willing to share about that. That sounds like an interesting addition. A Cherim that's focused on hail instead of sun. Scruffican. I was supposed to solve your... Oh, maybe I just wasn't using melee enough to keep you healthy. Oop. A hail-focused Cherim. That sounds really unique. I mean, there are certainly other hail-focused Pokemon, but I don't think there are many Redux Pokemon that specifically support a hail team, so that's cool. I hope that goes well for you. I hope they wind up using it. What inspired you to use Cherim specifically? We love it when a huge crowd of enemies gets corrupted right in front of our face. And all of the damage that we had previously done to them just gets negated, and they temporarily become immune to all the crowd control we're doing. Lovely stuff. Oh, hey, maybe this is a funny Helminth idea for this build. Not out of synergy, but because it's very topical. Jade Stars, maybe. If you, dear viewer, are familiar with Jade Stars, either before or after it winds up getting hotfixed, because boy howdy, some of the interactions that we're seeing with Jade Stars as a Helminth ability are downright obscene. Well, whether you're seeing this prior to that hotfix happening. See ya, violence. Nice timing, nerd. Whether you're seeing this before or after Jade Stars gets addressed by Digital Extremes, I do think it might be neat on this build. Neat if nothing else. Optimal? No, probably not. But this build doesn't use Nourish, Roar, or Melee Influence, so it's already not optimal. That makes sense, Coco. Why... Having a hard time thinking of a type for Redux Cherim, does make sense because
I do not think the murmur will wish this to you.
base Cherim isn't fire type, right? It's just grass, even in Elite Redux. And yet it supports and is benefited so much by sun. Which would imply that Redux Cherim wouldn't be ice type. Although maybe I'm making too much of an assumption with that. Do you mean you weren't wanting it to be ice type, or were you thinking of a dual type to put with ice? I see. Cherim gains fire type in its sunshine form in Elite Redux. I see. Very cool. It sounds like, if I can make a prediction, I'm sorry if this is an unfair assumption. I'm sorry if I'm speaking out of turn or going too quickly. It sounds like you picked a type other than grass for base Redux Cherim, and then in a hail form, or a blizzard form or whatever, it gains ice type. Again, maybe I'm making too much of an assumption and I should just let you say it. But I would love to hear it from you. How close am I? How close or how far off? Indeed. Ooh, that chaos. We love it when there's just a ton of chaos on screen. Oh, yeah, that'd be brutal. Grass Fairy Ice, while I agree entirely it has way too many weaknesses, it does make sense. Or, I suppose, it would make sense. Oh, Malice. That's probably true for just about any type you pair with ice, though. It's gonna have more type weaknesses than is ideal, due to the nature of ice just as a type with matchups. Nope. Grass Psychic does sound really cool. Grass Psychic and then Ice with a Blizzard form? I say Blizzard form like that because I'm not sure what name you might want for the form that it takes whenever hail is active. A revelation, a creative revelation. Hell yeah. We love those. Oh, that looked kind of funny. Oh, that's perfect. That is an incredible way to address Ice's type weaknesses. And all of the quad weaknesses that Grass Psychic Ice or Grass Fairy Ice would have.
Your hard work is really paying off.
That does sound very funny. I'd be fascinated to see how someone used such a Redux Cherum. Oh, for sure. Not selecting a relic this time because I just hit 1 hour and 1 minute on stream, so I'm gonna dip out here. If I can figure out how to go upstairs. Maybe a defensive helmet for this. Because I do still occasionally have shield issues. Absolutely, I agree, Coco. Inverse Room sounds both perfect and balanced. And very funny, with all of those quad weaknesses.
I dare say the murmur is quaking in its ambulators. Oh, what with the hiding our friend has
I'm going to call it here, folks. We're at 1 hour and 2 minutes on a planned 1 hour stream. Thank you very much for joining me today. I appreciate your viewership very much, whether you've joined me live. Thank you very much for popping in, Coco. It was really good to see you and to talk with you about your Redux Cherum idea. Or if you joined, or if you've clicked on this as a VOD. I appreciate you very much joining me today for quite a ramble. I really put a voice to a lot of the thinking that I've been doing about my time in this space. Spending time with content creation, with live streaming as a hobby and getting better at it very slowly over time at my pace, that kind of thing. And I feel really good about having put a voice to those things. And that, having said all of it, it even gives me more to think about. And I'm excited for all of it. It was really good to see you today. My next scheduled stream is Wednesday, July 8th. That is next Wednesday, July 8th at 3 p.m. Eastern. At the very least, I will be live from 3 to 4 on Wednesday, July 8th. But I might start earlier, I don't know. I know I keep saying that. And I didn't do that today, I did it yesterday. I was live from 2 to 5 Eastern Time yesterday. At the very least, 3 to 4, maybe earlier. Thank you so much. See you in the next one.